Alright, I wanted to do a video basically on the exotical white woman. I noticed that a lot of people liked to hear about the videos on the exotical dark-skinned African woman, the exotical biracial woman, the exotical ambiguous, like racially ambiguous woman who's like maybe Middle Eastern, Central Asian, North African, Indian, East African. You get what I'm saying. So I did those videos, and now I guess I'm doing another video just to point out what I think a white exotical woman looks like. See, I added blondes and brunettes. People with a darker hue and a lighter hue. I tend to think with white women, it's more their facial features, if anything, that looks more exotical at times than others. And this is something that can cause issues among all other races and white women themselves, you see. In society, especially among the darker, exotical white woman, she kind of like suffered, in my opinion, from a form of bias against her for being darker in her racial subset. Not extremely, but I'm saying in comparison. Long ago, the ideal was being fair, with blonde hair and blue eyes, that ideal. And it newly came about where darker women were more ideal, in the last few decades, women with deeper complexions and more of a tan complexion were more ideal. And in that transition, it's always been where there's a form of disdain or dislike for those darker women, I feel like darker white women have some pushback from their own race. Sometimes you'll see some blondes and lighter white people will, for example, have some kind of racial bias or racial issue with women like, for example, Ariana Grande or, Kim Kardashian or, darker white women, basically. And, with that in mind, a lot of darker white women have a connection to more Middle Eastern women, which can also come with some, issues of racial bias. But not all. I'm just saying that some of that can have to do with it as well. But you also see this pushback not just from white women, but you see it from black women, mixed women, Hispanic women, and so forth. The reason why these women get hated on and they get accused of blackfishing, and, trying to look like other races of women is because in reality, they don't look like, your average white woman, and they don't really look like a black woman. They don't look like an Asian woman, And it's kind of like the middle, like I've said before, is where a lot of other people wish they were, whether they're black or white. So the problem becomes that they take out their lack of ability to, be like these women out on them and try to say they're trying to be something else, when in reality these women are just being their unique selves. And black women and white women and mixed women and Hispanic women and Asian women can't really attain that look, and therefore, they kind of like, you know hate on what they can't have, you know, even though in reality it's kind of like these women, they can't have what a black woman has, for example. So why would a black woman have to hate on a woman like this? It makes no sense, You should just be happy with what you have. But that's, I think, where, you know, the claims of black fishing and mixed fishing and even other ideas of women trying to look Hispanic, I've seen that too, comes from. It comes from those people feeling insecure about themselves. And, you'll see other people who will call these women fake as well, because it's almost like among. I'll actually leave that out. But you'll see that some people call them fake, And it's like, it's not really about being fake, really. What's the reality of the situation is that these people just have a very different phenotype than someone who has blonde hair, blue eye, fair skin, average white person. It's just what it is. Is someone fake if they're a blonde hair, blue eyed person or a black person? No, they're not. People have different phenotypes, and so not one phenotype is more likable than another phenotype. All are beautiful in their own way. So, that's all I really had to say in this video, basically, was just that, I wanted to make a video for more exotical white women because I feel like people don't like to admit that that type of white woman even exists, because they more so want to try and think white women have one look, so then they can feel like, it's a common look, therefore not an exotic look, and it can't be like a rare phenotype. Every race can have a rare phenotype, though, as I've shown. Asians have a rare phenotype. Black people can have a rare phenotype. Arabs can have a rare phenotype. Well, they do, Um, white people can have a rare phenotype. So it's not like, if someone has an exotical phenotype that is white, that they're doing something wrong because they look more exotic than most white women. So that's all I have to say here. And I also tried to include a couple blondes. I know some of the blondes that I included were to show in contrast to, darker exotic white women, and others were to show, how they can have more of an exotic look as well. Just to kind of like add variety, basically. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say here. Thanks for watching, and bye.